Hey Nessie, thanks for getting this in. So, I laughed out loud when I saw this image, just especially compared to the rest of them. I mean, I laughed out loud. I think that this image, in regard to pose and light, really shows that part of a teenager's character that's like somewhat vulnerable and defensive, and therefore acting like a bad SOB. You know, like that's, I guess some of us as adults still do that too, but that's what I get from here. And I just feel like it's so telling. Like you could just look at this sweet girl's face and you just are like, I know you're not as bad as you look, and so it's such an act. I mean, there's a big story here in her character. I would agree with I don't know if it was Kimberly or Brandy that said it, but about this being really awkward, the way that the arm is cut off here. And, you know, and I think that this negative space, this extra negative space that you have here would still be there, you know, if you just put her fully in the frame. You'd still have that, and then you could, you know, change your focal length lens or move your own distance from your model, like back up a little bit so that you can get more of her in the frame. Okay, I just realized I didn't read one of the feedbacks. I didn't read Michael's feedback to you. Okay, so, and then here we have what people were saying about that arm, this being hyperextended here. I would agree, like, this is really weird to look at. It's so hard, though, you know, because when you're dealing with a non-professional model, whoops, I had my microphone way on the other side of my desk. Hopefully you heard everything I said so far. When you're dealing with a non-professional model, it's just so hard, you know, to get them to put their body in a way that's not totally weird. You know, everything, her head's working, her shoulders working, her knees are working, this fist is working really nicely right here too, but this backward angle right there is very strange. However, the way that she's placed in the scene is nice. The gradient that you've got going on here is nice with your background light. It's pretty good. And you know, and this is a photographer's trick I should point out to everybody right now. So you know, most of you are shooting with a paper backdrop. Even if you're shooting with fabric, you want to know about this. All these little dings, these wrinkles in the paper show up if you put your model right up against the paper, because then the paper is within your depth of field, and it's in crisp focus just like your model. So you always want to give several feet space between your model and your background. I mean, unless you're trying to get cast shadows on the paper. Just put several feet there, like say like a minimum of 3. And you know, and then this way, not only is the background out of focus so we don't see these little weirdo things here, but also you have a lot more freedom with the background and how you light it. You can do beautiful gradients or spots or get it completely black or do whatever you want, because there's a, you know, you can light the background independently of your model. So, like, yeah, here, like, this is a really beautiful shot. The rim light that you've got going on here is just exquisite, and the little bit of light bounced back into her chin here is nice. It's getting her eyes, so we see her beautiful gray eyes. But then I see the real obvious wrinkles in the paper. So yeah, that's really my big feedback here is make sure you give several more feet between your model and your background, and then just this. Watch for these kind of stressful tangent angles, you know, when you're cutting off a body part in such a strange way with the edge of the camera. Just be careful of that. But the lighting, independently, I could say that the lighting is beautiful. You know, these shadows that you're casting on her are describing her features really nicely. You've got basically, I would say, like somewhere between a 1:3 and a 1:5 ratio on her, which is a little bit dramatic, which is what you're going for with your teen. And then this one is lovely because this is her bright side. You know, like this is, you've got short lighting here, and you know, but it's bright, and the rim is very bright and ethereal. So this is the part of her that's, you know, just lovely and innocent and fun, and I mean, I think you did a really nice job giving us 3 distinctly different feelings from this girl. So, you know, like really rough and tough and defensive, maybe bored. Not, and I don't mean in a derogatory way, but like this is the kid that, like, you're like, oh, this kid doesn't act up or anything. Like this is her when she's, you know, complacent. And then here, this is her when she's, you know, optimistic and young and happy. And I think you did a nice job. Okay, thank you, Nessie, and I will see you in the next assignment.